Hi everyone, it's Dr. Dave and I am coming to you with some thoughts on a really interesting study I came across recently, and that has to do with processed food. So as you know, I have been a big proponent of whole food and avoiding processed foods. And this study is fascinating because what it did was, and we don't see this a lot in nutrition studies, is there was a group of 20 patients, half men, half women, and they took the 20 patients and they broke them up into two equal groups. And what they did was they kept them in a metabolic unit, which is a really cool concept. Think of being in like the hospital in an area where they are basically controlling everything you eat and take in, and then they were measuring these different parameters. And what they did was there were two groups. The first group, they fed whole food. The second group, they fed processed foods. And this is where it gets really interesting. They controlled for multiple variables, including calories, sugar, fat, sodium, fiber, macronutrients, meaning both groups had the same amount of calories and sugar, right? So the only difference theoretically was the processed food versus the whole food that they were eating. And in addition, each group exercised the same each day, about 20 minutes. And what they found, and what you can see, is that although the calories and all these other variables didn't change much, the weight did. And over the course of 14 days, the group who was subjected to the processed foods gained weight, and the whole food group essentially did not. So what is it about processed foods? If we're controlling for all these bad things, sugar and lack of fiber, the honest answer is we don't know. There's so much more to this story than just calories, sugar, and fiber. Yes, those are important elements of it, but we still have a lot to learn. So, until we learn all of this stuff, we do know processed foods are garbage and we should stay away from them for the most part. But it's amazing. We're going to learn, I think, a lot more that's going to surprise us about why exactly are processed foods so bad for us. Now, so what can we do? One thing that drives me crazy, and I think I've discussed this before with everybody, is that nutrition advice is just so confusing. And at the end of the day, I think we need to get away from the confusion and make it simple. So let me just offer 3 very simple rules that I try to follow in my own life. So number 1, read the ingredients. Ingredients. Very important. And what I would tell you is, if what you're about to eat contains sugar in the first 3 ingredients, you probably should avoid whatever it is. Number 2, when you're looking at the ingredients, try to eat food that has few ingredients. The less ingredients, the better. The less ingredients, the more whole. So, we've all looked at packages and have seen ingredients. There's like 30 ingredients, and half the ingredients, we have no idea what this stuff is. Stay away from it. And finally, don't get tricked by marketing. Low fat, no fat, low carb, blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, if they have to tell you that it's low fat, no fat, non-fat, they're substituting usually the fat with something you don't want, like sugars and carbohydrates. So please, read the ingredients, become educated, and don't fall for all the advertising and marketing. All right, everybody, I hope that helps. Until next time, this is Dr. Dave.